Witness me, Smegma Crazies, and welcome back to Mad Max. Today is going to be an exciting episode of Smackdowns and basically nothing else. There's still quite a few more camps to go through in Gut Gash's territory, and, well, I found it's just going to be faster if I go ahead and get them all in one episode, more or less. There's still a few more past this, but this is going to be a lot of them. As I mentioned, I think the top dog camps I'll keep in full, because I think the top dog camps are interesting at least. But the regular camps, well, you've basically seen what happens. I mean, hell, for like the stank gum camps, the entire idea is just to, kill everybody inside. So I'm going to be sticking with the smash cut process for a while, because sometimes when you play this game, you just wind up in that meditative state of smashing faces. Of course, you still find some history relics here and there. That's important too. Good to know where you came from.
Like a body, every organ just shut down. Until the world was dead.
But mostly this episode is going to be smash cut, beatdowns, and explosions, so... So, I will fully admit that I've never 100%ed this game, and I basically got no intention of doing so either.
Up there!
There's a lot of the challenges that you have to do to get to 100% are kind of pointless, really. I mean, well, it's maybe not even the case that they're pointless, but doing some of them requires you to play in a very specific method or with a very specific archangel, which sucks. I mean, some of the archangels, like, you can't make basic upgrades like, oh, I'm improving the shocks on this one, suddenly it's no longer the archangel I'm searching for. But then some of the challenges are stuff like, oh, you have to kill enemies with while using border spikes. That's not shaking an enemy off, that is specifically killing an enemy with the border spikes. It's not great. Even more so once you realize that after you've taken out the majority of the convoys, you don't really get to see border vehicles anymore. So, like, one of the challenges I got recently was destroying border vehicles with a Thunderpoon. Unless you're actively doing that as you're going through the convoys, you're probably not going to run into too many. It kind of sucks. So yeah, some of these challenges require you to play in a certain way that you are generally not likely to do, and that's why I didn't plan on 100%ing this game. I'll be totally honest, I definitely underestimated what a grind this was going to be, but I'm at least going to finish it off. Or at least I'm going to die trying. And see, I just feel like it's a bit nicer just to have all these things happen in such quick succession. Because these camps aren't that entertaining. I will say, though, I was a little concerned when I was able to crunch down about, what, an hour and a half worth of camps into about 10 minutes? Yeah, I was briefly a little concerned about that.
The killer returns. We hauled back the steel you found. Been using it to reinforce the gate, see?
But as usual, an important part of clearing out these camps means that we can come back to these strongholds and get a quick top-up of whatever we need. Not to mention, sometimes you'll get to see the improved looks, and that's pretty neat too. Still, our time in Gutgasher's territory is actually coming to an end pretty soon. We'll be moving on to Pink Eye before too long, which means we'll have to take on the Jaw. Though as you can see as well, our max upgrades are getting pretty close to being maxed out as well. Maxed out. We have the strongest jacket we're gonna get. It's got some nice Kevlar inserts now, along with our 4-barreled shotgun, you know, for maximum damage. In fact, it even says, I think it said increased damage by another 50%, so yeah, this thing's gonna definitely start hurting people. Plus, look at that reload time.
Sneak shot got his gun on us!
Part of the reason, too, I'm at least keeping in the approaches to these camps is I do think the approaches are at least unique a lot of times.
Dangerous.
This one in particular has a lot of,
Here they come! The roadkill scum!
This one in particular has a long winding hallway that leads into it, and I think it's pretty neat. I want to say those guys went away because I was too close to the camp for them to be comfortable attacking. Those were roadkill, and this is a Scrotus camp, so maybe it makes a difference. Maybe not. Not sure. I mean, I have seen other times where the roadkill will just, you know, once you finished off a camp, they'll just bum rush right up to the gates, and you know, hey, they're here, they're waiting for you. I don't know.
Lie low here.
Certainly, yes. You know I would never leave her side.
Of course, another nice touch of upgrading the shotgun to multiple barrels is that as you increase the number of barrels, it also just sounds meatier. My Discord friends, Salted Grunt pointed that out, and I think he's got a good point. As you can hear it from all the way back when I was that little pipe gun. Once you reach level 3 and 4, it starts, you know, sounding like a real, well, like a real gun. here's an interesting enemy. Sometimes people use Thundersticks against us, and that's the boomers. Of course, once you kill them, they will drop a Thunderstick, and that's always useful for your armaments. I like Thundersticks. They do good work.
Profile camp. Hard.
Their lead truck carries an earthed and powerful artifact in its hood. It would serve us well to wield such a mysterious force.
Now, I will fully admit, this camp I'm actually pretty much a fan of. The reason being, well, there are, I think there's about 4 combat areas inside this camp, and 3 of them have, well, a lot of Thundersticks available. So, you can imagine how the vast majority of people in this camp are gonna die. I guess sometimes just by backing up you can't quite get the torque you need. You need momentum to it. But yeah, Thundersticks. They're great.
That car wouldn't last long out here. Not without some major adjustments.
I like how on that photo somebody felt the need to cross out cornhole because they misspelled it. It's the little touches. So yeah, I appreciate Camp Thunderstick. It does a lot of good stuff, and there's a lot of explosions. I mean, of course, the game calls it Scorched Sand, but nah, it's Camp Thunderstick.
I can't remember the innocence of snow. Of man. Who was this guy?
They call him Dovahkiin, Dragonborn. Or not. Just some guy.
This was once a very different world. A world where brother did not kill brother for scraps. A world where laws and rules were respected and nurtured. You protected your family and your children.
I remember.
Your body remembers. It trembles. It wants you to smother the past for fear and madness.
I'm looking hard. There's nothing.
Look again and again. It's right there in front of you.
Of course, as we continue filling out Max's Wasteland Legend mixes, he will... We're actually getting pretty close to the end of his storyline, his character development with Griffa. So I hope you've been enjoying that, because honestly, I find him pretty interesting myself. There's a reason I've been keeping those in.
A warrior comes a-walking. Maybe to try beating the tar out of Lord Scrota's transfer canvas. His pups built this to transport crude. It's got protection, though. Fair warning. Some of the pups can bite a mite. I've seen war bucklers in there.
Luckily, warbucklers aren't nearly as much of the threat that they used to be. With the shield shatter skill, not to mention just the absolute power of the Fury Strikes combined with the Knuckle Dusters that we've got equipped. Yeah, shields are not nearly as much of a threat as they used to be. They're still a bit of a pain in the ass occasionally, but, well, they're easy pickings. And of course, there's always the side entrances. I could have taken down the gate, but, you know. Path of least resistance.
Things were getting rough all over. Not just in the killing zones.
See, now this history relic kind of makes me wonder what happened when, to make the wasteland occur. I don't know if it was a nuclear apocalypse or climate change or... It seems to be some sort of oil wars, possibly in the Middle East or so. It's not very specific. But, I don't know. I kind of like the ambiguity. Anyway, that'll do it for this exciting SmackDown episode. I hope you'll please join me next time when we go through some top dogs, and then maybe make some progress. Until then, stay thirsty.